Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about working with JavaScript dates. JavaScript dates have to be one of the things I hate the most, uh, just because I don't know if it's that much better in other languages, but the way JavaScript handles dates can be painful at times. It gets better. There are libraries to help you work with dates much easier. There's Moment, which is sort of the most popular one, but then there's also Date-FNS. Either of those libraries will give you several different functions. Like Date-FNS is supposed to be like the Lodash of dates with like functions for everything. If you want to compare two dates, convert this date to that date, all sorts of cool stuff. So there's Moment and Date-FNS. I'm not going to go over those in this video. I'll probably go over them in a future video. This is just going to go over sort of your basic built-in JavaScript dates. Okay, so the first thing is just how to get today's date. How do I get today's date? You literally just create a new date. So we'll just say const today equals new date. And this will equal today. Now the problem with this is if I were to console log today, let's hit save. Let's see what we get. So node practice.js, you get this thing. And this thing isn't like the most fun thing to work with. See, it's like basically it's the year, the month, the day. This is the timestamp all the way up. So basically it's this hour, which right now it's 9 a.m. I'm not sure how that translates to 9 a.m. But it's also, again, it's a different time zone. I forget which time zone it uses. Okay, 54, that's correct. And then these are the milliseconds. And then this might have to do with, not quite sure. I think that's just still more like fractions of a millisecond. But this is not something you really want to be console logging on your thing. Okay? So in this case, what you may want to do is break down this date. Okay, so that way it can look pretty. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this date and get the year. So we're going to do const year equals today dot get full year. That's the function that's built into a date to get just the year, just the 2020. So I got the 2020. Const day or month equals, I think it's get month, and then const day equals get day, and that should basically fish out that piece of data from today. And this all should say today dot today dot today dot. So we're just parsing out today. Get day. Oh, that's a period. There we go. Okay, so just to make sure that I use the right functions, console.log. Okay, I want the month. There we go. Month, day, year. That's the way I like it. Okay. Save. Cool. And there you go. So it's 1/4/2020, which it isn't. Let me think about that. 1/4. Yeah, totally isn't the date. And even when we pulled up the thing, that's not the date it gave us. So that's odd. Why would it give us 4/1? We said this is month. Oh, I see why. Okay, it's based on an index. So basically this is really month 2. Because 0 is January. Okay, and then today is the 13th. I don't know how you get 4 out of the 13th. That's interesting. So let's play with that. See, this is why people hate JavaScript dates. Okay. Okay. So here's what we did wrong. So when we do get day, that gets you the day of the week. So 4 really means 4. It really means, like, let's see here, so that would be, well, today is actually Thursday, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Thursday's the 4th day of the week. So that's why it says 4. So I want to get the date of the month. So it's actually get date is what I want to use. So if I save that, and I'm going to do a +1 on the month, because I want that to match the month. Again, that starts on a 0 for some reason. So if I do this, there we go. That looks like today's date, which you can see up here to confirm that it's actually today's date. Okay. So, and you can see that that's really annoying. I can quickly make a function to do this, turn this into a function and simplify that process over and over again. But again, there's libraries like datefns and moment that do a lot of that for you. And there's other date libraries as well. So this is all great if you are talking about using now. But what if you want to use a date that exists? So you might pull up an API and you might get something like this. Okay, and that's what it gives you. So you're going to want to pass that in as a string into the date thing. It'll parse it. So if I do this, save. So again, this is February 2020, 13, T14, 16, which is still now. So it should pretty much give me the same thing. But let's say we played with this. Let's make this April 14th. We pass that in there. So you get this April 14th, 2020. So it'll still work. You get these strings. And there's a whole bunch of different versions of these UTC strings. So you can go to utctime.net and you can see all the different varieties and what these different types of timestamps mean. So the one I'm using is W3C, just because it's the one I've had to work with a lot recently. But these are all different timestamps, and I think date supports them all. And this kind of goes through how they break down with time zones and stuff. And that's the other thing you have to be really careful about, time zones. This is where now the external libraries become much more useful, because they can help you offset the time. So you just basically would, like, for example, if I was using, I forget datefns, I think it's like, I would wrap this around, and then I think the function was like convert to time zone or something like that. And then that would like, and then I'd have to pass in like the time zone. Or something like that. And that would then return me the adjusted time. You could do that. Again, different libraries have different tools for doing that, but that's essentially how dates work in JavaScript. You know, they're not the prettiest things, but again, you can quickly build basic functions just to format it the way you want it, like I did here. Just grab the year, the day, and the month, and just plop it and make it a function. Okay, so if I wanted to make that a function just to show you, I would just basically say, hey, const format date equals the date, and then I would copy this logic, and this would just be date. Okay, and then it would return this value. Control C. Okay. Get rid of the parentheses. And that would be that. Okay, and then that would just take any date and format it. So if I wanted to do this, so I'm going to get rid of all this code. Move this code below just out of personal aesthetic. Okay, and what we're going to do is we'll say, well, this is going to be another time, because that's no longer today. And I'm going to get rid of this whole convert time zone thing, because that's just something we kind of made up there. I'm going to get rid of this whole time zone thing. Just that. Copy that over. we'll rebuild today. Okay, and now I can do this. Console.log. Let me get rid of this E and formatted debate. Console.log for other time. Oh no. Format date with other time. And then we'll do the same thing again. Control C. With today. And let's see if it works. Oh, syntax errors. Let's see your date. Oh, that's right, arrow function. Always forgetting the arrow. Save. And there you go. See, so you can make it easier for you. You know, if you're only doing like something like this, just creating your own little function like this, that'll just go in there and spit out the date for you as a string that looks the way you want it to look. It's probably the easiest thing. But again, you have those libraries. But again, always the downside of bringing in a library is that it comes with like a bunch of functions that you might not use. So if you bring in the whole moment or data.fns library and you're only using one function out of it, you know, you're adding a lot to your bundle without necessarily usage of it. Now, of course, you know, now modern day bundlers and things like that are much better at only pulling in what you need. So with tree shaking from rollup, and I think Webpack has kind of adapted all that too. Especially with the way ES6 imports work. So you basically only have to import the functions you need as you need them. That's great. But, you know, it's always something to think about. Cool. So that's basically how to work with JavaScript dates in a nutshell. It's not super elegant. This is why everyone uses Moment and data.fns. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this useful.